afternoons in San Jose were rarely cold. But that day, Elias Monroe felt the air cutting through his thin jacket like ice. Beneath the waning sunlight, he pedaled his old bicycle down 7th Avenue, the worn-out backpack on his shoulders carrying packages no one cared about except him. It was his 6th straight day of work, without a break, barely catching more than 4 hours of sleep a night. Elias once had big dreams of building technology that would change the world. But now the only things changing his world were unpaid bills and the constant knock of the landlord demanding rent. He pulled up in front of the gleaming glass tower of Argonne Dynamics, a rising tech startup making waves in Silicon Valley. The polished silver logo caught the sunlight while a row of supercars lined the entrance, an unspoken declaration of status and power. Elias checked his phone. Delivery technical documents and prototype components for Richard Sterling, CEO. He climbed the steps, just about to ring the doorbell, when a flat, cold voice stopped him. "Hold it. What are you doing here?" Elias took a deep breath. Delivery. Direct handoff to Mr. Sterling. The security guard, tall, broad-shouldered, wearing mirrored sunglasses, looked him up and down with a stare Elias knew all too well. The look of someone convinced he belonged somewhere else. Somewhere lower. Somewhere without bulletproof glass and leather chairs. The CEO of Argonne doesn't have time to receive packages from someone like you, the guard said, pressing down hard on those last 2 words. Elias didn't flinch. He calmly pulled out the documents, his voice steady. "These are critical technical updates from Spectrum Tech. We made a few minor revisions to the thermal design. He should at least take a look." Suddenly, the glass doors slid open. A man stepped out as if the world was made to part before him. Silver suit, polished Italian shoes, hair slicked back like every strand had been calculated. Richard Sterling. He stopped in his tracks, his eyes falling on Elias like he was some dirt tracked onto a red carpet. "What's going on here?" he asked without looking away. "This guy insists on handing the package to you directly," the guard replied. Richard glanced down at the package, then up at Elias. A smirk curled on his lips. Not a smile, but the kind of grin meant to remind you of your place. "You ride a bike delivering packages and you think you can give me design advice." He scoffed, then turned to a passing employee. "Hey, maybe he's some hidden genius. Who knows, maybe Google calls him tomorrow." A wave of laughter erupted from the employees nearby. A few of them discreetly filmed with their phones. One secretary whispered to her friend, "Poor guy, look at him still trying to stay composed." Elias swallowed. His heart pounded not out of fear, but from the deep, bitter familiarity of being dismissed. But this time felt different. Something inside him broke not his pride, but the last fragile hope that he'd be treated like a human being. He gently set the package down on the receptionist's desk. "There's a schematic inside," he said, voice clear and calm. "Just a small suggestion, in case the system's running too hot." Then he turned and walked away. No bowing, no apology. Just the sound of his footsteps, steady and unshaken. That evening, Elias sat alone in his damp, dimly lit room, the glow from his laptop casting shadows on his quiet face. He stared at the schematic he had once sent out, the same one Sterling had laughed at. Lines of code, heat paths, circuit board layouts. All of it developed by him alone. No lab, no team. Just relentless persistence and a hunger to prove that he still mattered. On the desk lay an old, yellowing photo, Elias at 21, standing in front of the MIT gates holding a scholarship award. He had been the top student of his year, the only one in his family to break free from the cycle of poverty. But then his parents were killed in a car accident. Elias dropped out to care for his younger sister and work part-time jobs. His dreams of building technology were postponed, folded away, and slowly worn down like unpaid bills piling up on the kitchen counter. But they were never erased. Every night after deliveries, Elias would sit and code, draw schematics, research. He wasn't just a delivery guy. He was an engineer one the world hadn't bothered to name yet. The next morning at Argonne Dynamics, chaos erupted in the tech division. The prototype chip, still in experimental stages, kept overheating during final tests. No one could figure out why. Every theory failed. The CEO's patience was beginning to crack, until a young engineer stumbled across a drawing that had been included in the delivery package from the previous week. Mr. Sterling, there's a thermal redesign here. It reverses the heat flow direction from the current layout. Look. Richard Sterling squinted. Who drew this? Not sure, but it came in the package from last week, and it actually solves the overheating issue. The room went dead silent. He remembered Elias's eyes, calm, unwavering, even as he became the butt of a corporate joke. And now, Richard realized the delivery guy had just saved his multi-million-dollar project. But Sterling wasn't known for grace or gratitude. And he sure wasn't about to admit he was wrong in front of his team. Double-check it, he said coldly, turning away. Could be a coincidence. But inside him, something unfamiliar stirred threat. A man with no degree, no title, no power, had just pointed out something his R&D department and he himself had completely missed. And this was just the beginning. Because what Elias was about to do next would change the entire game. 1 week had passed since that so-called fateful delivery, and Elias still pedaled through the streets, dropping off packages as if nothing had happened. No one called. No one apologized. No one acknowledged him, and Elias didn't wait for it. He was used to planting seeds with no promise of harvest. But across town, inside the headquarters of Argonne Dynamics, a company now valued in the stratosphere, thanks to its cutting-edge AI initiative, silence didn't mean peace. It meant something was breaking. The new AI test system began to fail. The medical data analysis algorithm, touted to be a revolution in healthcare, started delivering incorrect results. The machine learning models stalled, analysis drifted, and worst of all, the prototype chip's thermal system was heating up far faster than predicted. Richard Sterling clenched his jaw as he stared at the display filled with blinking red technical indicators. $1 million in R&D, over 30 engineers, 6 months of sleepless effort, and what they had in their hands now was a device so hot it was melting investor confidence, along with its circuits. "What the hell is going on?" he roared in the emergency meeting. A junior engineer cautiously spoke up. "There was a design proposal last week, a cooling system revision. We didn't run a full test. The schematic didn't have a name, it was just included in a delivery box." Sterling snapped his head around, eyes darkening. That drawing came from the delivery guy. No one said it out loud, but everyone was thinking the same thing. Another engineer spoke up. "We ran a simulation based on that suggestion, and the overheating issue disappeared." The room fell completely silent. Richard Sterling leaned back in his chair and let out a slow breath. The ego of a proud CEO was now staring down an undeniable truth. The man he mocked might be the only one who actually saw what his entire team had missed. That evening, Elias came home later than usual. It was raining, pouring. He pushed his bike through flooded streets, his jeans soaked up to the knees. His sister Lila was already asleep. In their cramped little room, only the soft blue light of the laptop screen remained and the steady click of keyboard keys. On the screen was a 3D simulation of Argon's AI cooling system, now optimized to 97% efficiency. But Elias wasn't focused on the heat anymore. He was staring at the machine learning algorithm. He squinted at the matrix of data. "They're going in the wrong direction," he whispered. "Medical AI can't learn from data stripped of real clinical context. This isn't a numbers problem. It's a human problem." Elias didn't need a lab. He had his mind, and a heart that still believed in what technology could do if used the right way. The next morning, in a private internal meeting, Richard Sterling made an unexpected order. Find out who submitted that schematic. Call the delivery company. Pull up the security footage. I want a name, an address, a phone number, everything. There was no smirk in his voice anymore, because even he couldn't deny it now. The man he'd laughed at was their last hope. 3 hours later, his assistant walked in. "We've identified the delivery guy. His name is Elias Monroe. No formal record in the tech industry, no engineering credentials. But he attended MIT, dropped out in his final year. Currently works for a private delivery service." Richard's eyes narrowed. "MIT, yes. And I think you should see this." She pressed play on the security footage from the day of the delivery. There was Elias, calm, composed, standing in front of mocking eyes, placing the document box down with quiet determination. Richard watched the video 3 times. By the 3rd time, he no longer saw some delivery guy. He saw a man. That night, Elias was revising the prototype algorithm when his phone rang. An unknown number. "Hi, this is Jennifer. I'm the executive assistant to Mr. Richard Sterling, CEO of Argon Dynamics. He would like to meet you tomorrow morning, in person." "For what purpose?" "A collaboration offer," she said, then paused. "And an apology." Elias didn't respond. The next morning, Elias walked into Argon Dynamics no longer as an outsider. This time, no guards stopped him. No one looked at him like he didn't belong. They had all been instructed, if a man named Elias Monroe shows up, treat him like a specialist. Richard Sterling was waiting on the 30th floor, standing by the window, the city skyline sprawling behind him. He turned as Elias entered. "I was wrong," he began without ceremony. "I laughed in your face, laughed at what you brought, but your design saved this project." Elias simply nodded. "I'm not here for an apology." "Then what are you here for?" "Because I have something more important, something that can help your system, not just the cooling, the core algorithm." Richard froze. "You think you can improve an algorithm that took my AI team 6 months to build?" Elias pulled a USB from his backpack. "I don't think." He looked him dead in the eye. "I know." His voice wasn't arrogant. It was certain. "Give me 48 hours and a test device. If I'm wrong, I walk. If I'm right, we're going to have a much bigger conversation." Richard looked at the young man in front of him, still in that worn-out hoodie shoes, scuffed from daily grind. But those eyes didn't belong to a delivery guy anymore. They belonged to someone ready for the big leagues. That day, Argon Dynamics quietly welcomed a special guest. No one quite knew who he was, except for the name being whispered through the halls: Elias Monroe. A delivery guy, the one behind the thermal system. Fix, personally summoned by the CEO. What the hell is going on here? When Elias stepped into the testing lab on the 7th floor, the once revered holy ground of Argon's AI engineering team, all eyes turned to him. Cold, skeptical, and irritated. Tech isn't a playground for amateurs. MIT dropout, now a delivery guy, thinks he can teach us about technology. But Elias didn't look at anyone. He walked straight to the workstation, unzipped his worn-out backpack, and pulled out a hard drive, a laptop, and a hand-drawn data flow chart in blue ink. An oddity in this digital age, but oddly powerful. Richard Sterling had been there from the start, arms folded, observing like a chess master watching a new player approach the board. Silent, non-interfering, waiting. "What do you need?" The lead engineer asked, his tone like ice. "Just give me 48 hours. No one touches the simulation system. And don't cut the internet." The room responded with a few muted chuckles, but the CEO nodded. "Give him 2 days. Day 1, 11:00 a.m. Elias began scrubbing the system's code base like a surgeon removing dead tissue from a patient's body. He didn't fix lines, he deleted the whole framework. The engineering team went pale. "He's destroying everything," someone whispered. But Richard stayed silent. He understood those who truly know what they're doing often start by tearing down what's broken. Day 1, 6:00 p.m. Elias started building a new machine learning foundation, not based on market standard models, but on how real humans process medicine context, behavior, response. "AI memory isn't a dump for data," he muttered. "It's a brain it needs to know when it's wrong and why it's wrong." That night, long after everyone had left, the only light in the room came from Elias's screen, casting a blue glow on his tired face. He coded while sipping cheap instant coffee. Memories of MIT flooding back. The day he was forced to drop out, not for grades, but because his scholarship fell short. Because his mother, who raised 2 kids alone, was diagnosed with late-stage cancer. The day he chose family over prestige. And from that day forward, No one believed he was a tech genius anymore. But Elias knew a great mind doesn't need a diploma to survive. It needs grit, not to die. Day 2, 900. Elias ran the first simulation. The system processed the patient data set in 12 seconds. It used to take 4 minutes. No one believed it. It must be a bug. One engineer ran diagnostics. No bug. Another tested the virtual hospital dataset. A previous flaw had misdiagnosed stroke risk. This time, the new AI flagged it with 97.2% accuracy. No way, someone murmured. The algorithm learned. Context signals from patient data, 30 a.m. Richard entered the lab. I heard, "You started over." Elias turned. I didn't tweak. I erased the old biases. And the system's learning again, like a child. No assumptions, no human-coded prejudice. Richard looked at the console. No red indicators. Everything green. "You do realize," he said slowly, "if this system launches Argon, could lead the entire medical AI sector." Elias smiled faintly. "I know, but I didn't do it for you." Richard raised a brow. "Then for who?" Elias turned toward the glass window, where patients were testing simulated records. "For those who need saving, like my mother." By the end of the day, the entire tech team stayed behind. For the first time, one of the engineers, the same one who had laughed at Elias, walked up to him. "I was wrong. The way you look at systems, it's completely different. But it works." Elias nodded. No bitterness, no smugness. Because when you're truly good at what you do, you don't need to say it, you just show it. That night, when Elias came home, his little sister Lila ran out to greet him. "You're back. Did anyone call you a delivery guy today?" Elias chuckled, ruffling her hair. "Nope. Today they called me an algorithm designer." "That sounds fancy." Elias didn't say anything, but in his eyes, something that once dimmed was burning again. Faith, inspiration, and fire. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, like the video if you believe justice can come from the smallest voices. Subscribe so you never miss more powerful and true stories like this one. Comment if you've ever stood up for someone you love, even when no one else believed you.